Hey everyone, it's Laurel. So in my last video, I shared with you 3 file folder mini albums that I had made. Excuse me. And I said that my intention was to keep one of them for myself and give 3 of them away. Give 2 of them away to my family members when we went on vacation together. And I was going to take my selfie printer with me and print my pictures out while we were on vacation. But things changed. So in between the time that I made the video and the time that we went on our vacation, I decided that I was going to give all of them away to my family. So I didn't have a book for myself. So that's why I don't have a completed file folder mini album to share with you today. But the picture of the books that I'm talking about is here. And I did make another mini book for myself that I will share with you in another video. But today what I want to do is I want to show you how I made the file folder mini book. And if you want to see in detail what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch the video that I put up right before this one. So in order to make this book, you're going to need regular letter size manila file folders, and these are the ones that have the 3 tabs at the top, and you want to make sure that you have 3 different folders. So one has a tab at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. You want to make sure that you don't have 3 of the same folder or anything. So if you look at the edge of the folder, you'll see that they don't line up. So what we want to do is we want to make the 2 sides to be the same size. And when I made the books, I measured them and scored them, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm not sure that all file folders are created equal. So I don't know if I measured my file folder that it would work on your file folder. So the easiest way I think to do this is if you use this edge of your scoreboard, you'll be able to butt the edge of your folder up to make sure that the 2 sides line up. And then you can just take your bone folder. So all you want to do is line them up correctly. Hold it down really well. And just take your bone folder and crease the edge. So now your folder looks like that, and the 2 edges line up here. So once you've done that, all you want to do is cut this into 2 separate pieces. So just take your paper trimmer and just cut that fold off. So now you have 2 pieces. Now what you want to do is line this edge up with this edge. So this is the first page of your mini book. And then all I did was I went in with my corner rounder and I rounded the corners of these edges. So for the other side of the same folder, you're going to want to line your edge up with here. So always the shorter edge of the tabbed side. So that's going to be the second page of my folder. And then also what I did is I covered most of the sides of my folders with pattern paper. Not all of them. I did leave some of them plain just because I like the look of the folder. But most of them I covered with pattern paper. And I found that the easiest way to do that is if you lay your folder flat and you run adhesive, either liquid glue or your tape runner, along the edge, all the edges of the folder, including the edge up against the crease. If you take your pattern paper and then lay it over, when you flip it over, all you have to do is take your scissors and just cut the excess off. So you can cover as many or none of the sides of the folder that you want. So once you've done that to all three of your folders, I didn't finish covering this with pattern paper, but this is what it looks like when you've covered the sides with pattern paper. So now you have 6 pieces. And the other thing I did is I created a little pocket using 2 sides of the folder. I took the 2 edges that were straight and I just put a little hinge inside on both sides of the folders, and I glued the bottom shut, and that's how I created my pocket. So all you want to do is line them up. Make sure that you have the folder with the tab on the top first, and then the middle, and the tab on the bottom, in that order. So to bind the pieces together, the spacing of your dots or your holes that you're going to punch isn't all that important. You just want to make sure that they're evenly spaced. So here you can see that I've made this little template. So these are so one is in the middle, and then these 2 are 4 inches off center. So I'm going to go ahead and mark where my holes are going to go. And then I'm going to use my big bite and punch the holes. So I'm going to do this to all of my folder pieces, and I'll be right back. So now I've punched the holes in all of my folder pieces, and I put them back in the correct order. And I have a really long piece of hemp string here, and when I didn't measure it, so I can't tell you exactly how long it is, but what I did was I took my piece of string and I wound it around the folder 5 times, and that's how much string I cut off. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to run out of string while I'm binding, because once you run out, you have to pretty much start over again. And I threaded my string onto, I don't know what it's called, but it's a really thick needle, and it has a big eye on it. So I threaded it on here. This is what I'm going to use to bind my book. So you're going to start with your front cover, and you're going to go in the middle hole, and you're going to pull all this string through, and you're going to leave maybe about 8 inches on the end. That's what you're going to use to tie the bow when you're done. So you're going to go back out through the bottom hole, pull all your string through, then you're going to go back in the middle hole. Sorry, that's my dog. And then you're going to go out the top hole. So once you've done that, you're going to go back to your middle hole, and I'm just going to tie a small knot to make sure that it doesn't come undone while I'm doing the rest of my binding. Okay, so that's what the outside of the first folder looks like now. So now you're going to take the second piece and go in the middle hole on your next folder. And just pull the string all the way through. Now on the inside of your second folder, I accidentally pulled both strings through. You want to make sure that the tail stays outside. So now on the bottom hole, on the inside, you're going to go out. So now it looks like that. I'm going to tie a small knot here. And this is what kind of keeps the books together. So all I did was I'm passing it under the string that's running along the first folder. And I'll make a small loop and pass my needle through there and pull the string through. So now I have a little knot there. So that's what it looks like. And you don't want to pull your string super tight when you're doing this, because as you fill your book up, it'll take up space. So that little bit of room in here will be filled up with your pictures and other papers that you put in there. So now we're going to go back in to the middle hole on the second folder. And then out the top hole. And once again, I'm going to tie a small knot here. So I'm passing my string under the string on my first folder, and then I'm making a little loop, and I'm going to pass my needle through and tie a small knot. So that's what it looks like now. So this second folder is the one with the pocket in it. So it's actually two pieces stuck together. So this is actually the third folder that I'm going to do right now. So all you're doing is repeating the same steps. So I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to go I'm going to take my needle, and this one I'm going to actually tie a knot here. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to slip it under these two strings here. And I'm going to make a little loop. Right here. And once again, I'm going to tie a small knot. And it's a little difficult working with such a long piece of string. But as you go through your book, the string will get shorter, I guess, so it gets a little easier. So now we're going to go in the middle hole on the third folder. I have to untangle my string. Okay, so now we just went in the middle hole on the third folder, and we're going to go out the bottom hole. Okay, and again we're going to tie a knot. So I'm just going to go under the string closest to me. And make a little loop. And tie a little knot. I'm going to go back in. So you just keep repeating the same steps. So I'm going in the middle hole, and out the top hole. And tie a knot. And then I'm going to tie a knot here. On my middle string. So if you just remember that you knot every time you come out of a hole, and then before you go back in the middle. That's all you have to do. So now I'm ready to add the next folder, excuse me. So that's, now I'm on the center. So just line it up. And pass your needle through the middle hole. Out the bottom. And tie a knot. Okay. Oops. So now we'll go back in the middle. I don't know why my string keeps getting tangled. Okay, so back in the middle. And then out the top hole. Tie your knot. Okay, so for the sake of time, I've gone ahead and I've attached the last two folder pieces to my book, and I'm at the point now where I've gone through each of the holes on my folders, and I've knotted the thread coming out of the top hole. So now, as I have done on all the other folder pieces, I'm going to go ahead and knot the middle. And then to finish it off, you don't want to tie this too tightly, but I'm just going to tie a bow. finish the ends off. And that's pretty much it. So your book is done, and that's what the binding on the spine looks like. So you can see that you can see the strings on the inside, and it's nice because it'll lay flat so that it's easy to work on. And you can really attach as many file folders together as you want in your book. So that was how I made my file folder mini album books that I took on my vacation, and I'll be back to share the book that I actually used for my Hawaii mini album in my next video. So thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.